Welcome to the Geek podcast.
That's right, everybody. Welcome to the thescenesnobs podcast. It is Thursday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Friday night. Oh, that's right. It's always Tuesday night with us. And it's 7 p.m. We are going to have a lot of fun tonight. We were just doing a little bit of a pre-show, getting into it. We were talking about video stores in the back room and just having a good time. So I wanted to bring it forward and get you guys involved as well. So thanks for joining in. But guys, you can continue conversations like that over on our Discord. And the best way to do that is join up on our Patreon. That's right. Join up on our Patreon. You can either follow us for free or you can join up on one of the paid tiers. Either one gets you into the Discord, but they have great perks on their own. But right now, until August 20th, or we get 100 patron followers, whichever comes first, we are going to be giving away this Deadpool, or Headpool, as I should say, popcorn bucket from AMC. That's right. So you can see a very cool detail. Really went into it. I did a review video for it, but it is never used, and I'm going to be giving it away to one lucky patron, and another lucky patron in that time will be winning this Wolverine with the figure and straw and everything cup. It's a pretty cool little cup. So I want to show that to you guys. I also want to thank our sponsor of this episode, StubHub. We love you. I'm going to see AJR this Friday, and I can't wait. And I got my tickets on StubHub. I got most of my tickets for stuff on StubHub. Otherwise, it's just on the app. That's right. Let's get going. All right. I'm going to bring on my awesome co-host tonight, the man Sturdy and Dan. Trevor's here. James and Jason. What's up, everybody? They just saw you. So, I mean, it's not like there's no point in just saying, "Hey, no, let's just." Hey,
everybody! I didn't know we were live earlier. What's up?
Yo, I think Mick's gonna edit that part out, mate.
I can. Okay. Welcome to the internet. I will do my best. I thought you knew we were live because you didn't have a camera on at first.
No, I didn't have my camera on because I was setting my stuff up, and I was like, I don't want my ass in the guy's face as I'm setting. Like, I had to pull my couch thing up, sit this up, and set my screen and stuff up.
Dude,
so I always have my camera close for that.
Top 10 ass. It was a top 10 ass. It's miraculous. I loved it. And even when you stood up and we saw the crotch, even better. French kiss. Thank you, God.
French kiss.
Oh my God, Trevor, are you in a t-shirt? And I love it.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
What's your t-shirt,
man?
It says Black Plague European Tour 1347 to 1357.
Oh, that's a death metal thing. Has to be.
I love it.
It's a mock metal shirt.
Can I ask Trevor one question, Mick?
Sure.
Because I put something up specifically just for him for this episode. And I've been waiting to ask this since I found out that he is.
Well, let me make you big.
Okay. All right. I've had this record for a while, Trevor. This
Death
is what I consider
amazing.
to be the greatest black metal album of all time.
They are the creators of
black
metal.
Thorny Crown, man.
What is it? Bloody something bloody, scream bloody or whatever. The first album is really, really good. They can continually make great albums. So if you like metal, definitely good stuff.
That Human is my favorite, and like I think that like they get undersold and not enough people listen to them. So I was just curious to see if
there's a really horrible documentary, and it's a horrible documentary, and that's a problem. But that's for another time.
Well, guys, I want to say thank you so much for coming in. I want to tell everybody, make sure you're going to hang out with these awesome people. Of course, Sir Sturdy is from Horror with Sir Sturdy Podcast, and you can follow the channel over there. And James is his co-host and his cohort on the Popcorn and Pints podcast as well. My apologies. Jason is from the Three Geeks podcast. You make sure you go check them out. They're awesome. I think if I'm correct, I'm joining you tomorrow, right?
Yep, tomorrow at 8. We're going to talk Comic-Con.
I love it. I cannot wait. And then Trevor, my man from Ambassador Media and Radio. Thank you so much for joining in.
Well, thank you again for having me. It is always an honor, and it's amazing fun. So thank you.
And my good buddy Dan, thank you so much for joining in. He hosts Betting Bros. He's one half of the hosting team of Betting Bros. Math and Smash. He is the smash to it. That is right. And now I just thought about that Deadpool masturbation joke.
Yes, right.
Anyway, I'm gonna let that one go.
Love it.
That show's funny.
Master
Go
Shake.
see that movie if you didn't see it yet, please, people.
Well,
For the review towards the end.
yeah, we're doing the.
We
review.
don't know if you should see it or not. You don't know
Yeah.
if Sturdy likes it.
We're gonna tell you. We're gonna tell him.
We'll tell you towards the end.
My
Well,
children
I'm trying to keep
endorse it.
theaters open. That's what I'm saying. You should go support it because, keep theaters open. You should go see any movie that's out there.
I agree. Well, any movie that's out there, I mean, there's some.
Listen, just because we
Wow.
don't like it, someone else out there may like it. I mean,
That's true.
people like long legs.
Support your local theater.
Hey, I didn't see long legs yet.
Oh, good old long. Yeah, that
I'm not
one.
taking any shots. Well, not really. Kind of
Definitely
friendly.
took a shot.
a friendly one. So it's to you, Peter Anthony. I love it.
I love it. All right, guys, we are doing our second. This is actually Mixtape Part 6, but this is the second of a 2-week excursion into the minds of us and our music. And we're doing horror movie songs. And what that means is if the song has played in a horror movie, you can use it. Right. So, I say no more than 14 with everybody. I think Dan went to 54 or something like that.
I had 28 and I had to cut it back to 15.
And I cannot wait.
I got 15.
Oh my
15?
God, you son of a guns. And I guarantee you I'm going to learn about some new subgenre of music tonight.
Oh yeah, Trevor.
That I will not believe exists, and then get yelled at by people who are really into vegan grindcore.
This was
Yo.
a major thing to ask, because once you started going down that rabbit hole, you either kept going or you just pulled the reins back.
I pulled the reins
And
back.
I had to do
I
that.
jumped back.
So yeah.
Really quick, Trevor. So
What?
today I went to James's desk because we were both in the office.
Uh-huh.
And we were talking. I was like, "Yo, James." I was like, "What was that band's name that Trevor was talking about?" I was like, "Vegan." What? We could not think of it.
No, we could
That was
not
the
think of it.
capitation. Yeah.
The only thing I remember was the vegan something. What they're from.
Dude, I was sitting there and listening to, and I listened to them. I
All
listened to
31
everybody's
seconds.
choices. I was like, I was like, this is interesting. It's an interesting trip that Trevor's taking me down. I loved it though, and I'm excited, and especially now that we're going into the horror realm,
Mhm.
and I know how much everybody loves the horror realm here.
Yeah.
So, what I thought is we'd kick it off with James.
Okay.
This is your first time on the show. So
Oh
we
yeah, it is,
appreciate
James.
it.
Welcome, man. I didn't.
Yeah.
Even, it is your first
Yeah.
time.
First time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I want to send some love out before you start, James. I want to send some love out to my good buddy Paul, my co-host, producer Paul. Enjoy your vacation. It is well earned, well deserved, and we love you and we miss you. We'll see you again.
We
So.
can't wait to fire you again next week.
I've never fired him. I think he thinks I'm going to.
Oh, I fired him. I fired him.
Sturdy's fired him like 8 times or something like that.
Yeah. It's not even my show.
Oh man!
Go ahead.
All right,
James.
now
All
tell
right.
us your tale.
Okay. So I got 15. I didn't know. I forgot the exact rules. How many you needed? I was like, all right. I watched last week and I was like, I think someone had 15. So I was like, okay, it must be 15.
Are we doing round robin, Mick? Are we going like one?
No. We're just he'll do his 15 and then we'll the next
Okay.
person. Because it's a mixtape. It's like a story.
Okay.
Okay,
So
just-
these are not in. I have them listed 1 to 15. I'm going to go start 15 to 1. They're not really in order except for basically number 1. But okay, so I'm going to start 15. When I hear this song, it's not a Christmas song. It goes right to this movie. It's from Gremlins. Do you hear what I hear?
Mhm.
That I hear that song. It's not a Christmas song. I hear
Okay.
it. I go
Favorite
Gremlins.
Christmas movie for sure.
There's some really creepy music in Christmas time. So a lot of death talked about Christmas time.
Yeah. So that's my 15. So 14, I got Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the Dickies.
Dickies.
Oh,
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
13, 13 and 12 go together, same movie. And this might argue, it might not be horror, but I call it horror for kids.
You might get mixed.
Beetlejuice,
It's okay.
Jump in the
Beetlejuice
Line,
works.
Jump
Yep.
in the Line, and Deo.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
I'm sure
Very
we'll hear
cool.
both of those in. Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Constantly.
I hope so. I hope so. So that's 13, 12. Okay, so 11. Mad World by Gary Jules, Donnie Darko.
Darko, no.
Darko.
That's excellent.
Good
That
choice.
is so good.
Number 10, Hell's Bells by AC/DC Maximum Overdrive.
Nice.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah. Number 9, here we go. We're gonna get lovey and cheesy. Total Eclipse of the Heart, Urban Legend, 1998.
That's a deep cut. And it's so weird because it's such a mainstream movie.
Yeah.
Hang on. What were you going?
I
through during
love
that time?
no, I love that song. I love that song. Hey.
Turn around.
Yeah, I love that
Yep.
song. All right, so number 8, Burning Down the House by Talking Heads, Reanimator.
Anime.
Great
Nice.
song.
They-
Great
yeah.
song.
7, Sweet Dreams, Marilyn Manson,
Nice.
House on Haunted Hill, 1999.
That's on my list.
Number 6, Hunter's Moon by Ghost, Halloween Kills, 2021.
Ooh.
That's a good band, by the way. I love Ghost.
Yeah, Ghost is a good band.
One of my favorite old time songs, Don't Fear the Reaper, Halloween, 1978.
Nice. Very nice.
Another one, because it's rock, Living Dead Girl, Rob Zombie, Bride of Chucky.
Bride of Chucky.
Yeah.
Great soundtrack.
Jay is happy right now.
The song in itself is a movie reference.
Oh, that's
Excellent
it.
song. Yeah.
All right. Number 3, continue on. One of my favorite bands, Down with the Sickness, Disturbed, Urban Legends remake, 2004.
There's a remake in 2004 of Urban
Wait,
Legends.
yeah.
I remember Urban Legends and Urban Legends Final Cut,
Yeah.
which I prefer.
No, there was a remake, 2004. Number 2, Freebird, The Devil's Rejects.
Oh, great use of the song.
Good.
Yep.
use.
And my number 1 of all time, Cry Little Sister, The Lost Boys.
Lost Boys.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Beautiful.
I really like the way you think, sir. It's a solid mixtape. That's one I would play on Halloween.
Yep.
All right, let's motor through. I'm gonna go over to Shake. I want to hear your list, sir.
So this was really difficult for me. I had to sit around and think about how I was going to develop the playlist.
Swear
And
to
so-
fucking God, if there's like 3 thrillers on here, I'm gonna mick you.
No. And so I had to sit and think really hard, and so I went instead with something that, like, if I wanted to burn a CD, what tracks would I put on it? And so it has to follow the rules of a CD, right? You have to have a flow, you have to have an intro song, and you have to have, like every good CD had, a secret track.
You took this shit serious.
So I
Awesome.
sat around developing, and I was like, you know what I wanted? I just went to, and I got 2 of the shirts up. I just went to a metal fest called Upheaval that we have here in Michigan, and it was a ton of new metal that was there. Now, I am not the new metal fan. I've listened to new metal. I know new metal. I'm not like pounding that drum, but this album is entirely made up of bands that could fit under the new metal genre, with the exception of the secret track. Okay. Now, my first track doesn't really, it wasn't technically in the movie, but it was in the trailer.
All right, you're out.
It was in the trailer for the movie. There's a song called "Song to the Siren" that's actually by a band called Lacuna Coil.
Yep.
However, it was covered by a band called Moneypenny, their lead singer Renee, specifically for the trailer. And it's called "Song to the Siren," and it was a really haunting way to open up the CD. Then I immediately transitioned into Drowning Pool Bodies from Jason X. Then Power Man 5000 Ultra Mega from one of the greatest metal soundtracks of all time, Dracula 2000.
Okay,
Terrible
I'll take the soundtrack. If you praise that movie,
Oh, terrible
God.
movie.
I love my Daria, but man.
oof.
Then Static X, Cold from Queen of the Damned, another great soundtrack.
Yep.
Was a great soundtrack.
It is.
This is a
Not a great
terrible
movie.
movie. Mudvayne not falling from the movie Ghost Ship.
Great opening, though.
Oh, great opening.
Great opening to a movie.
I forgot
Line
about that
through
one.
the-
Good,
Yeah.
okay remake.
Kill
I like
Switch
the original.
Engage, When Darkness Falls, the Atom mix from Freddy versus Jason. That is a great part of the film, too. And then you got to bring it down a little bit with It Dies Today from Sacred Heart. That's from Jennifer's Body. It's an Italian band. Then up again with Slipknot, My Plague, the new Abuse mix from Resident Evil, which was a great track in that movie. Bring it back down again with Korn, Camel Song from End of Days, which low key, I love that movie from 1999.
Nice.
Arnold playing End of Days, like
I like that movie too.
It's a
It
good
is
movie.
dumb, but I love it.
Then Glassjaw, Siberian Kiss from Ginger Snaps, which is a great moment in the film because it's when she actually
Nice.
decides she's
Yeah.
going to lean into being like a bad
Yep.
guy. Now, a newer movie, but an older track, Machine Head, Sail Into the Black from Devil's Candy from 2015.
Nice.
Little melodic. So this isn't new metal, but a little more melodic. Nightwish Nemo. It's from the
great.
Cave.
Oh, yeah, that was-
I did not realize it was from the Cave, and Mick said specifically it has to be in the film, so I pulled up the Cave. It plays at the end, so it still counts.
It still counts. Hey, and I will count trailers too, because I do think trailer music is important.
And it can be
So
iconic,
much,
right?
dude. Yeah,
Have
so
you
I will
guys
count
seen
music.
so the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 trailer? Have you guys seen it? Because it's like iconic trailer, and that song plays is
I
haunting.
remember.
Like it's a great.
Yeah, I don't remember it
Song
either,
for it.
honestly.
Now I had to check this with the group, and we all agreed that Lost Highway was a horror movie.
Yes.
Yes.
The part where he's driving the second time, Rammstein,
Yeah.
great fucking track. And if you watch him live, he's wearing chainmail usually and lights himself on fire to that song.
Cool.
That is an
Then
underappreciated soundtrack.
I think so too. I think it's probably I would probably say third greatest soundtrack of all time. I
it's
love that
freaking
soundtrack.
amazing.
Track 14 would be the last track before the hidden track, right? And I wanted to bring it down a little bit and kind of have an outro. Deftones, Minerva from House of Wax 2005. It's the
Nice.
track
Awesome.
that plays when they're driving down the highway in the beginning of the film. Great moment.
Nice.
Now, my hidden track would be, this isn't new metal, but I wanted to include what I think is the most iconic horror movie song that isn't like how the James, you mentioned the Halloween, like the Sandman or something like that. Like this isn't like something people, but when somebody hears this, they immediately think about this moment in the film. And that's Johnny Cash's The Man Comes Around from Dawn of the Dead 2004.
Nice.
Everybody knows the exact moment when that song plays in that film. And so that would be my hidden track that I would tack on after about, 6 minutes and 66 seconds or something like that. After the end of Minerva, I'd have Johnny Cash, The Man Comes Around, start playing. And it would be great.
Good
That's
list.
my horror movie metal edition playlist.
Little Mick in 2003 would be going wild. His I would just be aroused all the time. But I love the list. Thank you, Dan. We're gonna go on to Trevor. Trevor, what is your?
There we go.
Well, there's no logic to mine. It's just, as I said before, this is a big subject. I mean, you could spend years just focusing on music and horror films, but I'm going to start a little bit back, and that is with a song written by Herschel Gordon Lewis for his film 2000 Maniacs, and that is the song 2000 Maniacs. It is as frightening as the film, so highly recommend it. Now, this is one that, is, if you're talking like great 80s rock movies, you have to go with Soldier of Night, a track by Black Roses for the 1988 film Black Roses, which is what you'd think. Concert comes to town, everybody thinks it's satanic, and guess what? They are. Yeah, simple plot.
Love it.
Next one was a tough one because I always want to do Italian horror. And there's so much metal in Italian horror. But the one that I think is stuck in my mind the most is from a film called Cemetery Man. And that's Iron Maiden's Be Quick or Be Dead, which is just an amazing track. Now, this is the track I think everybody should bow down to as far as the perfect horror, and that is Bauhaus, Bela Lugosi's Dead from Tony Scott's film The Hunger, 1983. Then we're
Can
gonna,
I time out real quick, Trevor?
yeah.
No.
So, are there any? I can't remember from the film. Are there any David Bowie songs on the soundtrack from The Hunger?
No, but
That's
I think
weird. Why
I think
wouldn't-
he had some connection with the writing of some of the music for the film. Most
Okay.
of the non-songs are a public domain classical.
Okay, I was curious because it just made me think of it. The Hunger has such an iconic image of Bowie, and it's probably, I think it's surprising that he's not. Can you imagine him doing a cover of Bela Lugosi is Dead? That would be phenomenal. But anyway, continue. Sorry.
Okay, so this is kind of a weird one because I don't know. So I picked a song from Jaws. It's from an iconic scene. It's called "Show Me the Way to Go Home," and it's from that scene in which they're all shit-faced and they're singing a song that was released by, this is a pseudonym, Irving King, and released back in 1926 by Frank Crumit. And that is "Show Me the Way to Go Home." It's a classic sea shanty. And then I moved it up to something more contemporary but older. And it's a song written by Harry Mercer, performed by Paul Whitman's Swing Wing back in 1938. And that's Jeepers Creepers, the version used in the film. Next, because it sets the atmosphere perfectly, and that is Cure's Burn from one of the great soundtracks of all time. That is 1994's Crow. And then I'm going to go to 2003 with a song that honestly propels everything in the movie. And that is Muse with the song Newborn from Hot Tension or Switchblade Romance. Next one, I didn't know exactly who was performing it, but if you've seen it, the original Wicker Man, there's a song called Maypole Song from 1978. If you want to see Christopher Lee sing and see one of the greatest folk horrors, this is one for you. Now, this is a weird one, and we're getting down here. I just put it down as a whole film. It's called Terror on Tour. It came out in 1980. It is a truly adherent slasher film, but the band, the Clowns, play music all the way through it. But there's no background unless you watch the films and what these are called. And then I'm going to jump into another rock-oriented horror film from 1984, Rocktober Blood, from a band named Sorcery, with a very high-pitched song called I'm Back. And then we're just down to the last four of my 15, which is Guitar Wolf Jet Generation from the 1999, whatever you want to call it, film. We'll call it horror, Wild Zero. Hank Williams Sr. with Rambling Man from a great film named Dust Devil. And my last two, David Hess singing Wait for the Rain from the soundtrack of Last House on the Left from 1972. And yes, Krug is David Hess. Great one. And this one, finish out, goes out to Sturdy. Naked City performing Bonehead.
Something crazy. I love it.
1997's Funny Games.
Oh,
Yeah,
Look at that. Perfect.
Love it. That was a great list. That's great. And I'm telling you right now, I know, Trevor, I know you're like, I'm going to come on here and he's not going to know any of these songs I'm talking about. But that's not true, because at least one of your songs is on my list.
Awesome.
Probably the most recognizable one. But that was a great list, man. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that too. And I always love your little input on the songs and when they come. Because I thought the Andrews Sisters sang the original version of Show Me the Way to Go Home. But
no, it goes Frank Crumit was the oldest I could find, but it's a sea shanty, cool. So I don't know the year it was actually written.
I think we need a music database, like an internet music database housed by Trevor, because he knows all. That is right. Thank you so much again, Trevor. All right, Jason, we go on to you, my friend. What is
All
your
right,
list?
so this list was a little harder for me because outside of hip hop, I listened to a lot of scores. So of course, all the like horror I was thinking of were scores, but I did put together a playlist that I would actually listen to. So here we go. Number one, Mr. Sandman from the Chordettes on the Halloween soundtrack, and then you've got Revival Bad Moon Rising by Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Mhm.
Nice.
Living Dead Girl by Rob Zombie. Me and James's list is pretty similar from Bride of Chucky. Red Right Hand from Nick Cave from the Scream soundtrack. All of the Scream soundtracks, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
He's
Nick
back.
Cave is a god. Mhm.
Nick Cave is pretty good. He's back. The man behind the mask from Friday the 13th Part 6, Alice Cooper. Yeah, it's one of the best. I Get Around from the Stephen King's It, the miniseries from the 90s. When
Nice.
Richie's in his car passing the movie theater.
Yep.
The Man Comes Around, Johnny Cash, Dawn of the Dead. I love Johnny Cash. Don't Fear the Reaper by the Blue Oyster Cult from Halloween. Bad Moon Rising by Creedence Clearwater from American Werewolf. Sweet Dreams by Marilyn Manson is the only Marilyn Manson song I like, and it's from House on Haunted Hill. No More Mr. Nice Guy by Megadeth from the film Shocker. Dream Warriors by Dokken. And then Candyman by Sammy Davis Jr. And after James's list, I've got my 14th song, Who Made Who by AC/DC from Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you. I love it. All right, great list, man. That was solid. That was a fun one. Like, not saying that all of them aren't fun, but some of them, like, I have to really search for.
No, yeah.
Like that would be a very cool like party mix. Makes sense. I love
driving mix.
Driving mix is a good one too. Oh man. What was that Creed song from Scream? Whatever the hell, 3?
Creed.
I don't know. I blocked Creed out of
arms
my
wide
life.
open. Arms wide open.
I appreciate the list, man. Thank you so much. Sturdy sir, you are up, my friend.
Okay, it's my turn. So I'm kicking it off with honestly a movie that I love. I've only seen like 2 times though, believe it or not. But the first time I seen it was with my father. He actually showed me the movie, and he's not even into horror, but we're both in the cars, and it's Christine. The song is "We Belong Together," followed by "Don't Fear the Reaper," Halloween 2. There Was a Crooked Man, The Conjuring 2. I love like those weird, creepy children's songs when they throw them into horror. It just, and then put the creepy singing with it and the mute. Oh man, nothing better than that.
Yeah, messes you up.
It does in a good way though. Superstitious from The Thing.
Yeah,
Wonder, of
very
course.
nice.
Banana Boat, Beetlejuice,
Yeah.
and then I have a few from this movie because it just like the way the movie, and just watched it recently, the way the music was played in this movie with the scenes, Good Vibrations from Us. Like every time they play music in this song, it was important, it mattered, and it just made sense for that scene.
Yeah.
You Are My Sunshine, The Conjuring. Told you again. Jeepers Creepers. You already know where that's from. Mr. Sandman, Halloween 2. And this one was close to being number 1, but I was like, I gotta really think about this. Tiptoe Through the Tulips from Insidious. That is some creepy creep, and I love it.
Tiny Tim.
That's some Tiny
And the
Tim.
scene's perfect. Oh my god!
I had them. I had those 2 on my list. Jeepers Creepers and Tiptoe Through the Tulips. But I was like, oh, they're too obvious. Everybody's gonna have those ones. So I went and found 2 other ones.
Sturdy, have you seen his horror movie?
Oh my god. It's on the list.
Yeah.
It's on your list. Blood Harvest.
Blood Harvest, yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
It's on I put it on that list for the wheel I gave you for the Joe Bob list.
Oh, it's so bad.
It is so bad, but oh my god.
But think Long Legs and look at that movie and go,
I like
Oh, shit.
Like,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's basically Long Legs.
Yeah. That was, I mean, it's not what Nick says, but
Wow.
yeah.
I mean, wow. You're right. Well, good call, Trevor. I love that association. Please proceed,
Friday
sir.
the 13th for Love Is a Lie.
Nice.
The Candyman from Candyman 2021.
Nice.
And again, Us, Fuck the Police. Listen,
Yeah,
it was
that was
played
a
at a
good
great
scene.
time.
That was a funny scene.
And then the way they did, I got 5 on it when they slowed it down.
Mhm.
I got 5 on it.
It was just
So out of tune, it hurt my ears.
no. I love when they slowed it down for that scene.
No, I'm
I
kidding. I
loved it.
appreciate it.
And then
I'm not getting sued.
lastly, tick tick boom, Friday the 13th, 2009. Like
Oh,
as they're
tick,
saying the
tick,
tick tick
boom.
tick boom, the guy gets hit in the head with the boat, or no, the arrow goes through his head.
Oh yeah.
Chick gets hit in the head with the boat.
Are
Love
we
that.
thinking of the
scene.
same Tick Tick Boom? Is it from the rock band? From Tick Tick Boom.
I thought it was click click boom.
Oh, you're right. That's Click Click Boom.
I
You're
did-
right.
yeah.
Never mind. I mixed it up.
Yeah.
I bet. I take it back.
Hey, go with it. I like it. Is that your whole list?
Yep. That was number 1. Yep. That's
Solid
15.
list.
Nice.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
good.
I can't wait to listen to that. That's
I
gonna be a
like
lot of
that
fun.
list.
Very cool. All right. Well, I guess it's me right now, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I'm going on a little journey with mine. I'm gonna take you on a little Willy Wonka journey. I'm kicking things off with Tiny Tim's Tiptoe Through the Tulips. I'm gonna bring you through the creepy forest first. And then I'm gonna rage on with Wu-Tang Clan, Let Me At Them, Tales from the Hood.
Mhm.
Then only
Think of Tales from
to
the
let
Hood.
you know that things aren't what they seem. With Blue Oyster Cult's Don't Fear the Reaper, not just from Halloween, but also in Scream.
Mhm.
So, good movie. Then I'm, gonna let you know that you're in Dream World now. Marilyn Manson's Sweet Dreams from House on Haunted Hill. And then we're gonna take a trip through the 80s a little bit. This is important. 80s is a very important decade to horror. So we're gonna go Cry Little Sister by Gerald McMahon and Lost Boys. The Lost Boys. Then we're gonna go to New Order, Confusion from Blade, which I will hard argue is a horror movie.
It's
I stayed
hard.
away from it just because I didn't think it qualified. But I
Me
like
too. Me too.
I don't
actually.
know, it definitely
the level of
qualifies.
murder and death, like when you say is Twilight's a horror movie, I'm like, come on, man.
Well, the
like-
comic book was considered a horror comic book.
Yeah,
That's true. That's very fair.
It's like
I love that
Werewolf by
soundtrack.
Night.
The Blade soundtrack was so
Yeah.
good. Like,
Yeah, it
So
was.
good. And that's such a
I'd
great
consider
song.
Blade horror. I'd consider.
Oh yeah,
Blade horror.
totally.
Mhm. Absolutely.
He's a vampire that actually kills. A lot of them are just kissing each
Yeah,
other and falling in love. And they throw it
yeah.
in the horror
I
category.
just automatically connected it to Marvel. I was like, it's not.
But it can
it's not
still
horror
fall in
movie.
that. Who's to say it can't still fall in the category, even if it's under the Marvel thing? It doesn't
So
mean it
more
can't
is
be.
Morbius a horror movie?
Yeah,
Yes,
because
but
it
because
was
it's
made.
so bad,
The
you're
bad?
probably gonna see
Unwatchable.
Blade soon.
It's a horrible movie. Yeah.
I
How
know.
soon
I
are you
said that.
supposed to bring in the
I
new
joke.
Blade?
Oh man,
I brought in a controversial pick. I love it.
Yeah,
Oh, you did?
It was up to pre-production, and to my knowledge, it's non-existent anymore.
Honestly, I thought I was
After
going to. But people,
Morbius,
I thought people were going to go, that's not no horror movie. That's a kid's movie.
All right. Well, let me continue. Hip to be a Square, Huey Lewis in the
Oh,
News, American
nice.
Psycho.
Nice.
And then, of course, I'm going to bring it home because I got to get us out of the 80s, but not too far out of the 80s. I'm going to go with Ghostbusters, Ray Park Jr. Awesome horror comedy. And then at number 10, I got to slow things down a little bit. Bela Lugosi's Dead by Bauhaus.
yes.
But then I got to speed it right back up because we're going to the Pet Cemetery with the Ramones.
Yes. Awesome.
And then because we're in that Pet Cemetery and all those little critters are waking up, we're getting Superstition through Stevie Wonder. And then I got 5 on it. I feel good. It's a little creepy still. Like kind of brings us down, brings us out. It's a little creepy. I got 5 on it by Lunas from Us. But I had to add in the secret track at number 14, Dan. The secret track. And that is probably the greatest hair metal horror movie 80s song
Trick
of
or
all
Treat.
time. Nope. Wasp, Scream Until You Like It from Ghoulies 2.
really?
Wow.
I have not
Here's the
heard
thing that I'm
Wasp
surprised.
mentioned in years. So just the fact that that name came out of your mouth makes me a little giddy because I was like,
I can't remember the name of the band, but most people consider Trick or Treat from the 80s to be the greatest
Mhm.
horror movie band of any of the horror movie bands. Like I can't. What's the band name? I can't remember. Do you remember, Trevor, or no?
No, I don't.
Like I had to avoid because I went with the new metal stuff. So I hair metal was out, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I had to avoid that. Yeah, I think that is the greatest example of 80s horror metal of all of them. Even though I love Dokken, don't get me wrong. I mean, I have the damn poster. Like, I was surprised you didn't go with that, Mick. But that's a good pick.
Wait. An indie horror film that people rediscovered even existed because they started packaging it and selling it at Walgreens for $1. And somehow the horror community adopted it with fervor of cult classic. Does not go down as the great just because Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne both playing off Typer in this movie does not warrant them to the greatest metal.
I can't remember. He's a wrestler, but he's the lead singer of the band Fozzy.
Oh, Chris Jericho.
Oh, God.
Chris Jericho is like, he bangs that drum for that movie, like bangs that drum hard. And the whole
he bangs the drum for Blood-Sucking Freaks too.
Yeah, but so the whole reason I discovered it, I didn't know about it. I thought Trick or Treat from 2008 or whatever was the only Trick or Treat movies. So I didn't know about
Family Tie stars in the original.
Like and what a good movie it is too. Like honestly, it's like super fun to watch. But I discovered it because of Chris Jericho.
I thought it was done better by that movie. I think Trevor made mention of it. That movie with the band that comes to town and possesses everybody.
Yeah,
Black Roses. Yeah. I thought it was done better in that one. Honestly, like there's a few where like with rock bands that I like a lot. Listen, Rock and Roll Zombies is terrible.
Yes,
but I love it. I love it. So
before we get into the next stage, can we all pick what our actual favorite metal soundtrack or horror soundtrack of all time is?
Oh, I don't even know.
I couldn't tell you.
No, because like Bride of Chucky's been mentioned a couple times.
Did you just say favorite horror metal soundtrack?
Horror soundtrack. I meant to say, but for me, it's like I have the metal in mind for my list. Like I have a favorite horror soundtrack for sure. It's not Bride of Chucky, even though that's damn close. But I have a favorite horror soundtrack of all time for sure. Does anybody else?
Favorite horror soundtrack of all time.
What, all time or just metal all time?
Oh, any horror, because like I don't want to limit it, but like for me, it happens to be metal. Like I
don't know. I'd have to like on the spot. It's a great question, but I'd have to go and really like do my research because are we counting scores too or no? Just soundtracks.
Just soundtracks, like because for me it's Dracula 2000. I have never seen that movie. I saw the beginning.
You don't want to.
You don't want to.
But that soundtrack is Pantera, Slade. Like that is an amazing soundtrack. Like what a trash movie, but great music. The two movies that I never really saw, but I own their soundtrack and will hold it up as if it's like a torch is that, and then I'll hold up Go. I've never seen Go, but that soundtrack is fire. Like
I mean soundtrack wise, I could pick out a top 10 of just movie soundtracks, but
I can pick out
that. We'll save that. No, we're saving that one for another.
I like
prime real estate.
I like Queen of the Dam because it has cool. I like Lost Boys.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to think about this one.
Yeah, that's hard. I'm
not going to answer that question now, but if we all want to come back, we can talk about our favorite. Because I have to think about that. That's. It took me a while to put this list together.
Yeah, it did.
It was a long go for. Like I said, I cut it back from 29 songs. Like
Jesus, I love it. All right, well, guys, it is that time. We're gonna let some of you go. We're gonna go and start our review. But I want to thank you guys for coming on tonight. Jason, go check them out at the Three Geeks Podcast. I'm gonna be live with them there tomorrow, talking about San Diego Comic-Con 2024. I want to thank you for coming on, sharing your list. Appreciate you. Go check out Three Geeks. Follow them everywhere. And until next time, brother, I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
See you guys soon.
James, you can see he's one half of the Horror Source 30 podcast, and he is also one of the hosts of Popcorn and Pints. You can check him out every Thursday night at 8 and every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Go check him out and follow him over there because he's awesome. James, thank you so much for joining in tonight.
Thanks for having me, and have a good night, everybody.
You too, sir.
Yes, buddy.
And Trevor, my friends, I appreciate you. Ambassador Media and Radio, thank you so much for coming out. You always are a wealth of knowledge.
Thank you.
And
Well,
thank you for the shout out.
Hey, no
appreciate
problem,
that.
bud. Yeah.
Yes.
Anytime.
Yes. Appreciate you, sir. And I appreciate your list and coming on here. Go check out Trevor. He's an awesome guy and he knows his stuff. But thank you, Trevor. We're going to let you go. And then until next time, we'll talk to you soon, brother.
Thank you all.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get us straight here.
Okay.
Get out of my spot. Get out of my spot. Stay away.
You put me there.
Well, yeah, I did. Well, guys, I'm sorry it was such a rush. I know today was such a crazy jumbled day, but we were having such a fun conversation. It was like, this feels like the video store. This feels like when you're with your friends talking about movies and stuff. I was like, I just want to go live and share that with everybody.
Can I say something really quick? You know, something I always wanted to try.
What
was getting
Meth?
like no, not that. Getting a random movie, right? Like a random Blu-ray horror movie, of course, and say I watched the movie and I send it to say Mick, and maybe I put something that's from up here, like some sort of sticker or something that's from here. From that, you send it to Shake. Shake sends it to Jason. Maybe Jason sends it to James. James sends it to Tim. Tim sends, just
okay.
I know it's only one movie, but I think it would be something like that would be kind of cool. And then from that, maybe send it to a follower from one of our things, like, hey, and then you start sending it to people. Like, it'd be cool.
How I ended up with that bubblegum zombie killer movie.
And you know what, though? I would put
what the hell was that called, Sturdy?
I can't remember.
Oh, it was like bubblegum.
The girl was the one with the mutant girls, the mutant girl squad.
Yeah.
With the
zombie killer, whatever. Like, and I bet I was not in a normal state of mind and immediately bought it on Amazon.
He did. God. I didn't tell him to either. He just seemed to go upstairs.
I just was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this.
God.
And I said it in the comments. I was like, I and it sent me a picture as proof. I'm like, Dan, I believe you.
I told you I got it. I love that. And I love your idea, man. And I think if you got like the only thing I would get is like maybe like a big piece of paper, like a white, nice piece of paper, like an actual like glossy one, fold it up and put it in the thing. And then everybody who gets it maybe signs it or writes a little note or something.
That'd be fun.
That could be cool too. The thing with that is I know how my handwriting is, and it's terrible.
Oh no. I'm not talking about a lot. Just be like, sir, you could just write Sir Sturdy.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
You could just put your sticker on it. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's probably what I ended up doing, putting a sticker up. Boom.
Well, I want to say
but I do like that.
Before we get started on our next thing, because I want to share this again for anybody who's joining in late. Or just, screws up everything that I screwed up. It's going to be fun. So we are doing a giveaway, right? We're doing this, and we're doing the Wolverine Cup, right? So for anybody who's on the Patreon, you can be on the free tier or you can be on the paid tier. Doesn't matter. We are going to be giving away to 2 lucky Patreon winners. I don't know why I went into a weird accent there. 2 lucky Patreon. I swear to God, I didn't even do anything. 2 lucky Patreon winners. I don't want to do that too hard because it fell off last time, but it comes off easy. It's not like it fell. Like I hit it too hard and it kind of flew off. But it was very cool. It's a popcorn bucket from the Deadpool and Wolverine movie this week. It's Headpool. It's a very cool collector's item. So if you guys aren't
a comic reference for that for me, Mick, because I don't know it.
He's just a head. He's a zombie. He's a zombie head of Deadpool.
Mm-hmm. That's just it. That's it. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, he shows up in different times. Like, he doesn't have his own, starring
Okay,
thing.
I didn't know if he had his own run or something like that. I was like, I thought maybe it was a blowjob joke. I didn't know. So
he's just a variant of Deadpool. So it's pretty cool they showed up. Like, it's just kind of random, but they did a lot of that, and we're going to talk about that in our review. But we are doing the giveaway. Like I said, you join up with the Patreon. And then you, like I said, free or do one of the paid tiers, help support the channel. There's lots of perks for both. And then you are entered in to win. We're just going to pick at random 2 lucky winners. So go ahead and do that. Links down below, or you have the wonderful little QR code right there. But it's time, guys. It's time that we review Deadpool and Wolverine. I know my man is super stoked about this one. You both are. I can see it. I can see all the excitement on your faces.
I don't know who do you want to start with, man? Because like I could go forever on this.
Well, before we do, and we have till before 8:30, but we still got time. But so we have a good conversation to go. But before we get started, Deadpool and Wolverine, of course, is the third installment in Deadpool franchise where we see him teaming up with Wolverine to save his reality before the TVA takes it out. Mr. Paradox is at the helm of that, played by Matthew McFadden, who was made famous from the Succession television show. So they get stuck in the void. They have to fight Cassandra Nova, which is Charles Xavier's twin sister that ate him in birth in another universe. There's so much going on
for me too, because like I didn't know that reference.
Which one is it?
Cassandra. I have no idea who Cassandra is.
It's not like a full reference. Like it's not even main. Like it's a variant reference where she survived in it. So like I can't tell you much about it, but I do know Cassandra Nova. She shows up every once in a while. She causes trouble, but she wasn't like a super main villain. They made her like really powerful in this one.
Yeah, she was like ungodly powerful and apparently immortal. Yeah. Like I was like, what?
Yeah, I don't know all of her powers, but I mean, she is Charles Xavier's sister. She is formidable, but he was always sort of around. But yeah, they did a lot with this, and we're gonna go into spoiler territory, but not at first. What I'd like to do is do a non-spoiler review of this. So that's the movie's about. Deadpool has to get Wolverine to save his universe, but gets stuck in the void and has to get his way back out. That's the non-spoiler version. Before we go to the spoiler, I want to hear what you guys think. I'll put up our ratings for now while we talk about it. But what's your non-spoiler ratings? What's your non-spoiler feelings about this movie?
4.5 stars for me. It's not without its faults, but it is a great addition to the MCU. Like, even though it's his foray into it, like it's a great addition to the MCU. I think that Hugh Jackman shows this was more than a money grab, which was huge. I was worried he would phone it in. I don't think he did at all. And oddly enough, if I can explain why I took half off, I think that
as long as it's not a spoiler.
Nope, it's not. I think Ryan kind of might have phoned it in a little. Maybe he was too focused on the like writing. Mm-hmm. But it is not his strongest performance of the franchise.
Okay. I get that. Sturdy, how about you, man? What'd you give it a 5 out of 5?
I had a great time with it. And what was cool, real quick, what was cool about this, too, the experience was me and the wife went. And this is actually the first movie that she watched of this trilogy. She tried to watch the first one, couldn't get into it at first, I guess because of the way the comedy is. But after watching this one, she laughing through the whole thing just like I was, had a great time with it. She wants to watch the other two now. Which I was like, I kept telling her, I was like, you're going to have a good time with it. Once you actually watch it and sit down and, kind of just let go, turn your brain off, you're going to have a good time. But yeah, you get the laughs from it. You get all the jokes you want. And I can't say too much more without spoiling.
That's fair. I'll go with mine. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed the film. It had every bit of fan service I wanted. I think that had the fan service that was right too. A lot of people were like, I hope we see this. I hope we see this. I hope we see this. And some of it didn't make sense, but I get why people wanted to see it or some callback to it. But this movie did a very good job in gently and lovingly handling a lot of our favorite characters from the past. And also bridging the gap to now the future and being in the MCU. It was a really well done movie. All practical effects really impresses me about this movie. And I really enjoyed the interactions. I do agree it isn't Ryan Reynolds' strongest turn as Deadpool. I do think he probably did have a lot on riding on him on this. And that was that. I mean, maybe that could have played into it, but I do appreciate him for what he did here. And getting this all together, because like, let's be real, if it wasn't for Ryan Reynolds, none of this, like Sean Levy directed this one, like all the, everybody came around, and like, I get why he wanted to make the Deadpool family shine
Mhm.
because they were all there from the beginning. So I appreciated that about everything he did. There's a lot of heart to this movie, and I loved it a lot. So go check it out. Now, there are things that maybe in more spoiler territory took me out of it. Like, I didn't think the story was the strongest I've ever seen. It was just a simple, nice story.
Simple story, yeah.
Yeah. So, but there's a lot of chaos in this movie, and I loved it. But at the same time, it doesn't always translate perfectly. But they came damn near close, so I have to give them a lot of credit on that.
Okay.
All right, let me put up the banner so the people watching at home know that we are talking spoilers. Actually, I can make that a ticker this time because Paul's not here. I can't do it as a scroll because it messes with Paul's audio, but I can do that. So let's get started. All right, let's really get into it. So tell me what you really thought about the movie, guys.
Go ahead, Sturdy. You go first.
I'm gonna hop out and say it. For this movie, it worked. Channing Tatum as Gambit. For this movie, for the type of movie it was, and for the jokes it was playing on that character, kind of, and the jokes it was playing on other characters, which I loved, and the callbacks and all that, it worked.
No.
But I shared a post on social media that I disagreed with, where someone was saying put Gambit in a soul. I hope it was a joke.
And Gambit should not
be a. No, he's not a good actor in my opinion. He could do more 21 Jump Street till he's about 57. Put him in stuff like that. But as far as like a serious Marvel film, Gambit, no.
Please, his accent was another thing. His accent was perfect for the movie because it was in the joke.
Yeah, it was like intentionally terrible.
I don't know that it was intentionally terrible.
I thought it was. I thought it was intentionally terrible.
I think he just did a terrible accent, and because Ryan Reynolds felt like he was calling out people in this, not in a bad way, but like all bets are off. Like, the only one he didn't, and he praised, and the way it should be, was his wife.
He didn't want to go home to a dirty laundry. That's why. Like going home to dirty laundry where she's like, "Excuse me."
Yeah. Oh no, when he was like just had a baby, seems brand new down there. Everything he's just. But even like Hugh Jackman, when he calls out Hugh Jackman for just like he's let it go a little bit since the divorce. He just got divorced like less than a year ago.
That's it. He was with his wife for like 30 years or something. Like,
oh, so like he did not mind going hard in this. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to throw that out there. It's like I gotta give him credit on that one.
No, he definitely didn't. But yeah, that was like my biggest gripe with this movie was the Gambit accent. But again, I told him, I was like, it does work for the movie. It does work for the movie, so it's fine. Yeah. So it's fine. Not a strong. I mean, you could say that not a strongest story, but other than that, again, I don't have too many complaints.
Well, Gambit survived. Yeah. I don't know if everybody survived, but Gambit survived because at the end, in the post credits. And again, this is a spoiler, so if you're mad, I don't care.
Yeah.
You see Gambit in one of the screens when he's doing the Johnny Storm thing.
The Johnny Storm thing, where he said everything that he said, and everybody, the whole movie was like, fucking.
Dude, when Wolverine looked at him and goes, "You piece of shit, you guys got him killed."
That was so the stinger was great. So I gave it 4.5 stars, and like I already mentioned that Ryan Reynolds doesn't turn in his like best performance, but it was what it needed to be. The story is chaotic, like Mick said. I did not expect to get emotional about seeing Blade, but apparently I liked those 3 movies a lot more than I thought I did, because I did get a little like, oh my God, I'm never going to see Blade again on screen. My Blade, I'm never going to see him again on screen probably. And it's not like I was crying or anything like that, but I was kind of like, this is having a different like reaction than I thought it would. Every cameo was perfect. Jennifer Garner killed it. Like I was like, yes, that's awesome. I think that, okay, this is my thing about Gambit. Okay. I think that out of all the cameos, that might have been a wasted cameo. I don't. Right. You know what I didn't need? I would have much rather seen another one of the characters. Like, how hilarious would it have been if it had been Eric Bana?
No, I don't think it would have been
Like-
anything as other than Gambit
Really?
or
Like, I would have
another.
loved to see Eric Bana or Edward Norton or
No, I don't want anyone. Like, you can make that another joke in it, but I don't want to see anyone else on that team besides Gambit, Channing Tatum playing them, unless it's another developed but never came out Fox.
you would
mutant.
rather have that.
Yeah, because that was what the joke was. The whole point
Yeah.
of like, I don't know my daddy. I don't know. I could have been born here. Like the whole like, how many times has Fox developed a New Mutant movie? And I don't mean the New Mutants. I mean like a New Mutant movie for the X-Men, and it never went anywhere.
Anyway, yeah.
And it was so wasted and so lost. And like that's why I thought, but I also thought having the accent so bad and calling it out.
Squeezing him into that suit. He is a big man.
He's a big dude.
a
They squeezed him in.
Big dude. Like,
But he went all. I'll give him this. The accent sucked. He looked fun in the costume. Like it looked cosplay. It didn't look real.
yeah, it looked like he was at a convention.
It's like when people are like, "Oh my god, Nick Cage looked amazing as Superman." I'm like, "Are we looking at the same test
Same
photos?"
guy.
as
Oh,
I'm
Nicolas
looking
Cage.
at?
Terrible. I love Nicolas Cage. He looked terrible. Superman.
Oh, yeah. We all know how you feel, Sturdy.
I'm gonna buy you that pillow that Mick sent you. I'm gonna buy you that pillow, Sturdy.
I love it. But no, so like just all of that stuff. Like I thought him taking the action seriously.
Do you like
It was good.
how they handled the sequence with them essentially not killing Cassandra and then Cassandra still turning out to be the big bad? Because I was like mixed on it. That was one part in the plot where I was like, okay, so what was the whole point again then? Like
They kept it mutant, and I like that. I like that he keeps Deadpool in the mutant realm.
okay.
Like, yes, we have non-mutants in there. We have other Marvel entities, but he keeps Blade in the mutant realm. Not Blade. He keeps Deadpool in the mutant realm. Like, he's going to get Wolverine. Like in the last movie, it was Cable. It was Colossus. Like, yeah, you could get anyone. And every villain was an X-Men villain.
Yeah.
You know? So I like that it was Cassandra Nova, and she was so powerful, and that played into this Wolverine and how close he was with Charles. And I just thought it added the element for Wolverine perfectly too.
When she came back into his timeline to like take over, at that point I was just kind of like, that why can't Mr. Chaos or whatever his name was be the big bad? I don't know why she had to like. Do you know what I mean?
I thought because she had the power, like Mr. Paradox in this was so ratty. You know, he was such a sniveling guy. Like he wasn't a big bad, and he played the role well. But I thought her coming back and realizing like, oh, I had a deal with you. I could leave this thing anytime I want. I had a deal. Now you broke it, and I'm going to destroy reality because I'm crazy. I like that aspect of it.
I at that point I was kind of like, she came back and I was like, I don't know. I'm trying to shit pick here a little bit just because like I did give it 4.5 stars, and there's enough criticism there, I think, maybe to knock that down 0.5 star for sure. But like introducing, I don't know, they out of all the enemies that you could have had, like one thing I didn't get, I forgot to mention, when they did Short Wolverine.
Well, I'm gonna go over all the Wolverines. I do want to go over all the Wolverines. So and Sturdy, we've been hushing Sturdy a little too much. So
Sorry,
and I feel bad.
You're good. You're good.
Dude, please stop silencing black voices.
You're not. Don't put that narrative out there on him.
No.
But I wanted.
But
why couldn't they get Danny DeVito to do that? Why could they not?
I didn't want it. It was taken seriously. I loved it. I'm glad they didn't get Daniel Radcliffe. I'm glad they didn't get. It was. I think it worked. I think if you're going to have one person outside of Hugh Jackman play all those roles, it was going to be. I'm glad that they went with who they went with. And like I said, we'll talk about the Wolverines in just a second.
Okay.
I do want to touch on your point about Cassandra Nova. She's a very powerful being. Plus, she's a variant. And that's important in this. Like, because there was so many variants. And for her to be the villain, it's more of a deep cut. it would have been cool to see Legion, but it doesn't have the same. It has the same power and then some.
I thought we were going to see Magneto for sure. FYI,
I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we didn't see. I'm glad we got.
I knew it wasn't because of the previews, but like I was like, if they had Ian McKellen come in as Magneto to be the big bad, I was going to lose my shit. I wanted that so bad. Like,
all right. Now let's talk about the Wolverines because I know you're dying. All right. So, of course, for anybody watching, this spoiler. So we're going to go through all the versions of Wolverine we saw. So the first one we saw was comic book accurate 5'3" hairy Wolverine. Young hair. Well, technically, Logan is the first one we saw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When you see a skeleton.
I've never laughed so hard. I didn't like
that beginning scene. That was perfect.
What was it? There's 206 bones in the human body, then 207 if I'm watching Gossip Girl. Another call to his wife. Oh man, but then to go to the bar and when he catches the axe and just hands it to the guy.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Freaking loved it. I thought it would have been funnier if somebody threw the axe and another one of the TV agents was coming through to try and grab him. And it landed and he went back and then like that was that. And the guy's just like freaking out. I loved it. Short, hairy Wolverine was cool. Then we have Old Man Logan, which is kind of
Old Man
cool.
Logan. Yeah.
It was interesting. Who else do we have? Okay, so let's just get the Cavalry.
Yeah.
The Cavalry we get. We see Henry Cavill as Wolverine working on his bike too.
Yeah,
that was comic accurate bike. I don't know if it was in the comic books, but not cartoon accurate. I think. I have to double check.
I'm not sure if it was cartoon.
It was
in X2 for sure. It was in X2 for sure.
It's comic or cartoon. That bike is accurate. I have to do my research, but then we have Patch.
Yep.
Which Wolverine very much. Everybody thought Daniel Radcliffe was going to play that part. But Hugh Jackman was actually kind of hell-bent on playing all those roles. Because those were kind of like his dream to play these different roles.
All these different...
or do these stories and stuff. We have the Apocalypse where his hand's missing, and then... oh my God, the John Byrne Brown and Tan fighting the Hulk.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And when he puts up... If you... look closely enough to his claws when he puts it up, it's on the mask, but for good reason. They put the reflection of Hulk's face in the blades like they do in the comic.
Did they make it gray like it should have been? I didn't catch it.
No, it was green because he was green in the movie.
Oh, okay.
I knew you mean it was.
Yeah, because they had that print issue. They couldn't print Hulk the right way in that comic for some reason, and isn't that the same reason why his suit is brown, Mick?
I don't know the trivia on that particular comic. I know the famous cover, and I've read the book.
Yeah.
I don't remember the.
They had a print issue, and that's why Hulk was gray, and everybody was like, "What the hell?"
Well, the first ever issue of the Incredible Hulk, he was gray.
Yeah.
Because of the print issue, because they wanted him to be green, but it wasn't working. Yeah. And then he ended up gray. And then there's Professor Hulk, and there's actually Joe Fixit, who was kind of gray. So there's definitely many grays. All right, let's talk about some of your favorite points in the movie. Sturdy, what are some of your favorite parts of this movie?
I love the Deadpool variants.
Yes.
That was just hilarious. I wasn't expecting it either, and then when I see it, I'm like, oh wow. Oh, they're really going there. They're going anywhere with this. I like that, and I like when the speaking of that, it was after the dog came, the happy Deadpool. When he used
nice
him as a shield.
Nice pool, yeah.
When he used him as a shield.
Oh my God.
And then after his head gets shot up, he's still holding him up like this, running
he's just giving him CPR. Then he takes his guns.
Yeah, it's like he just wanted the gold-plated guns.
Oh my God, their interaction when he calls him Van Milder.
Yes.
And then he goes, "Oh, I can do." Oh, he's like, "I can do fourth wall breaks too." And he goes, "The proposal." And he goes, "Bitch, is that what you think I do?"
I love The Proposal, by the way. I think that's a great movie. Like, it's so clever. Like,
keep hardcore going for the proposal.
Oh, yeah.
No, I love it. It's a good movie. And listen, it's all of this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the movie. You guys, Sturdy, you loved it.
I had just had so much fun. Like, just like everybody, I love to laugh, and I'm very immature. So if you're immature, this movie is perfect for you. This is perfect. I'm laughing damn near through the whole movie.
Oh my god, man! It really was. It kept you going the whole time.
Yeah.
Dan, what was missing for you in this movie?
What was missing?
Besides Magneto, you said Magneto.
Yeah, like I mentioned, I think that the ending is a little anticlimactic in terms of her, like Cassandra coming back. But what I would have really loved to see is Cable. Cable is one of my favorite mutants, period.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think of the actor's name that played him in 2.
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin's version of Cable is so good that I wanted to see more of it. I like, and he even had a fourth wall break where he looked at it and he said, and apparently Cable. So I think Ryan Reynolds agrees with me that Josh Brolin's Cable was awesome too. Otherwise, he wouldn't.
Well, no, he said Cable didn't test well.
Yeah, it didn't test well.
And we know it didn't, but I think it's because he's Thanos, and they're probably going to bring Thanos back at some point.
Yeah, I got maybe so Dr. Doom can punch out his heart. But
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I did. I don't know. The other hard part is that it was so chaotic. I will say the high point for me, and I've seen people criticize the fight scenes. I think they were so well choreographed, especially the van. Van was, so I don't know. It's really hard for me to say what was missing because I don't like more coherence.
I just meant like, did you want more fan service? There's more characters?
There was the right amount of fan service. I enjoyed the simple story, but at the same time, like as simple as the story was, I thought it was messy at times. There were a couple times, if you were gonna say like the plot lagged, it did, like especially like meeting Nice Pool, even though it was hilarious, was a little laggy for me in the plot. It's not perfect. I mean, that's why I didn't give it 5, but like it was exactly what it should be. I'll say that. Enjoyed it. Great movie.
Awesome. All right, well, gentlemen, since we're rounding out. No, we're not finishing. We're not finishing. Oh. Don't leave just yet. Hold on. Hold that horse. We still got mixed movie pick, and I got another question for you. All right, guys. Mixed movie pick from 1973, a movie I truly love, starring Paul Newman and Robert Redford. And if you haven't had a chance to go check it out, go check out The Sting.
Great movie.
Truly fantastic movie. Great music, great acting, great story. Just everything about it is really fun. It's about two con men trying to take down a big time Irish boss, and it's just a lot of fun. So go check it out.
Terrible cover, in my opinion. Terrible poster art. We were talking about poster art the other day. I think that's terrible poster art.
Well, I like it because it's supposed to be reminiscent of Norman Rockwell.
Okay.
So the 20s, but I agree as a poster, it just doesn't. It's too dry.
It doesn't pop. Like the movie's great. It's well acted. Has funny moments too. Really funny moments in the movie. And I see that poster. I remember going past it, talking about video stores, going past a video store, and I'm like, I don't want to rent that. And then it took somebody else telling me, like, no, this thing's a really good movie. And I was like, the one with the brown and yellow like cover?
Yeah.
And like, it's great, but I
Welcome
don't.
to 1973.
Yeah.
But yeah, go check out this thing if you guys haven't already. I do want to ask you guys before we go, before I get this kicked off, what do you think about Robert Downey Jr. coming back? And he's not going to play Tony Stark. He's not a Tony Stark variant. They haven't said sure, anything can change.
Anything can change.
But, and they can be lying. Listen, an alien wasn't supposed to be in Prometheus, but whatever. And as you know, yeah, but it was. So anything can change. But as of right now, that's what they're saying. The Russo brothers are back. Robert Downey Jr. is back, but he's playing Dr. Doom in the next two movies. Dr. Doom or Avengers Doomsday, and then following that, Avengers Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion, which is terrible, batshit bullshit. Good comment though. All right, I want to hear what you guys think. I know, when it comes to Marvel and stuff, it's kind of been all over the place, but I just haven't been loving this, man. I'm like, I feel like it's going back to the well. I know they're making it sound like, oh, this is kind of the plan all along, and it's like, no, it really wasn't. We know it wasn't.
Was, but well, King. I looked it up after I asked you earlier what King was, and that actor Jonathan, what's his name?
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah,
like him, he was gonna carry, and like him not. I think changed a lot, but I'm all in on it. I think what's been lacking pretty much is chops, especially in bad guys. We haven't had really elite performances as a bad guy in the Marvel universe. Like even like, so who would you say is the best bad guy since Thanos? Like think about that for a second. Who has risen to the top? Because Green Goblin was going back to the well.
yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, that's like Green Goblin was a great villain.
Yeah.
Namor wasn't bad. I just don't think they utilized him properly. I liked Kang. I just don't think they utilized him properly either.
So I think having Robert Downey Jr. do I'm calling it a heel turn. You know, like Doom isn't that far from Tony Stark, and we know that. Like I know that Doom is very broad, and everybody would all the comic guys would be like, "Dude, he's so much more than that." Yeah, I mean, he's like Tony Stark, right? He's not.
No.
Guy in a suit.
No. I will defend Doom all day long. And that was Stan Lee's favorite character.
Yeah, it was. I thought the Hulk was.
He loved Dr. Doom because Dr. Doom's only a villain because he knows let's don't base it on the movies. Dr. Doom's intellect is on the same level. If we're going movies, I would put him at Tony Stark. Maybe even more. Because he has a working understanding of all his variants. And in fact, in the comics, he went through and started killing all of his variants to gain their powers and knowledge.
Okay.
You know, that's like how powerful he was becoming. But his whole sole motivation is he knows that the best outcome for the future of humanity is that he has to be the ruler. So like and this isn't like he thinks this. He knows this. He
believes it. Like
no, he knows it. Like he saw his future and he knows like he saw all the options. It's kind of like when Doctor Strange is like reading all the different options. He realizes the best hope for humanity is him ruling. I'm not even gonna lie, because for 8 years in the Secret Wars, he did a good job.
having actors with chops as the bad guys is what made the first sequence. All the best movies have the best bad guys, right? Like you need a good anybody can play a hero, but you need good bad guys. And Robert Downey Jr., even though he's being paid $80 million, it looks like a cash grab. I think he's going to go full out, be a great bad guy. And he has chops. He knows the universe. He knows the fans. I'm in on it just because I'm tired of seeing half-assed bad guys. We don't have good villains. So,
I disagree with you on that. I do not think that David Prowse, when he was acting as Darth Vader in the first movie, there was no chops, but he still brought a presence and that voice and like who we were, like, and all of the great Marvel villains, Killmonger, Thanos, even Loki, who had one of the greatest redemption terms of all time, but as a villain was very good. Good acting and not a lot of star power or whatever. I would have preferred that. Honestly, just a really good actor with good writing who understands. Look what Ryan Reynolds did with Deadpool. Like he understood that character so well. And that's what I want Marvel to do more of, because you keep saying to us, like, listen, it's a movie. It can't be like the comic book, but you've gone to the well of comic books for every ounce of what you're doing here. And you've done a good job adapting them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking away their writing skill, but Kang should have the first villain that, the first hero to go up against Kang should have never been Loki.
Oh no. That was,
and not to say like the He Who Remains was not bad, and I could still get over that because that is one variant of Kang. But and I could get over that because he didn't need to be powerful and he needed to die. So that I can get over that. But it shouldn't have been the first time we saw Kang. Now, it's like almost like when we saw Thanos the first time at the end of Avengers when he smiles. It's like that's what we needed from a Kang before we got there. Show some power, show somebody fearing him. And then when we get to Quantumania, and like he's going up against not only Ant-Man, but like cartoon character type of characters, it's like this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he lost. So he lost all credibility of being a villain. If I'm being honest, I think they probably should have killed off the Wasp in that movie and left Ant-Man there, stuck there for a while.
Or anything, or at least like kill off the two older people. But like that's the thing is like I feel like Robert Downey Jr. being Doom brings back stakes. I don't by chops. I'm not. By the way, I'm using the term wrong. I'm actually talking just good actors. I don't like.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you meant like had A-list.
Yeah, I see what you're. I'm misusing the term. That's my fault. Like I want good acting in the bad guy roles because you look
it's
at
important.
It's important. Anybody can play a hero.
Yeah.
You look at every good version of Batman. You know what he has? An amazing foil. You look at every the superhero movies are not made by the superheroes. They're made by the bad guys.
I disagree there. Like they can be made by both. Like Batman Begins didn't have a perfect bad guy, but it was a good film.
I don't know, man. I don't like the twist though. It's so I don't know. I wanted somebody. I didn't know Dr. Doom was going to be the plan. I had no idea.
He wasn't until they had to pivot because of all the Kang shit.
But I was up in the air, like, who's it going to be? And it's got to be. I knew it had to be somebody that was good because they're struggling. And
I just think
he's good. He's good.
I think it takes away from that ending of Iron Man. And just because he's good, I don't think that you should. And he's not going to wear the fucking mask. That's what's going to drive me crazy. He's not going to wear the mask.
Oh, he's not.
No,
I thought that was
no way. He barely wore the Iron Man mask. The whole third movie was about him getting out of the costume.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you know, and most of the time, and I get that he wants to act, but like Doom needs to be in that costume. That costume is part of what makes him so mentally unstable. I thought he had to
because his face is all fucked up.
It does. It regenerates in his, like it helps with his healing and all the pain that he goes through and everything. So like it has multiple functions. But the whole point of it is like he feels trapped in this.
My entire Doom knowledge, by the way, comes from the first Fantastic Four movie.
No, please. I beg you. I beg you.
That's it. That's it. My entire Doom knowledge.
Go read the wiki, like the Marvel wiki or something, just on Dr. Doom, and you'll fall in love with him. But Sturdy, do you have anything you want to add before we take off? Well,
with the Dr. Doom thing, I agree with you both as far as like I do feel that it does need star power. I do feel like villains do need star power, but I do wish they picked somebody other than Robert Downey Jr. Just in the point of giving somebody else a shot, like giving that other actor that shot, or I wouldn't even be mad if they made Dr. Doom a woman. Whatever. I know people are gonna cry about that. So what? But no. What I'm getting at,
they'd have opinions. I guarantee.
Put the best person that can play that role at it, and I would like a lesser name in the sense. Like I know you need a star power. But I would like a really good actor with a lesser name in the sense of this can blow up their career, like how this Iron Man definitely helped Robert Downey Jr. I'm not saying he wasn't good at all, but from his redemption and all that I mean, he's getting $80 million for this too. That's,
you know what actor they wasted? Idris Elba. They wasted Idris Elba.
Yeah, he was.
I know that's a different topic for another day, but like he was the first. When you said Sturdy, like it could have been like anybody. I was like, I would like to see Idris Elba in that role. Like. But then again, I want to see him in every movie. So,
well, that problem was he wasn't a big enough star to lead a movie yet, but he was big enough from Luther and everything to kind of bring some, credence to the role.
To it, yeah.
Plus, Kenneth Branagh just loved him.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. Probably worked with him before.
Should have been James Bond, people. Should have been James Bond. Shame on you.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, we don't have a James Bond yet, so we never know. But we do have a Patreon you guys should join because right now we are doing – that's not it. That's it. I got to stop using that background. We're doing a giveaway. Deadpool
like
or
that.
Headpool as they call it in the comics, a popcorn bucket and a Wolverine cup. So you guys can two lucky winners in the Patreon will win that. All you have to do is head over. You can file for free. You can join one of the paid tiers. The paid tier goes back into helping out the show, not just the show, the whole channel, and like building this out and making the best we can. The free tier comes with perks like the newsletter, links, extra reviews, stuff like that. So go check that out there. And we do giveaways like this. We're going to be doing this more often. So you're going to want to follow us and keep in touch. So I want to say thank you guys. I want to thank you to my fellow co-hosts on tonight's episode, gentlemen, Dan and Sturdy. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. Let's say thank you to StubHub again for being a sponsor of the show. We truly appreciate you. Go down, check out StubHub, get your tickets for any concerts or ballparks and stuff like that coming up. Yeah. I do. I'm going to see AJR on Friday. I got my tickets over on StubHub. So check it out below and help us out. We appreciate you. But until next time, guys, I am Mick Manhattan from the Scene Snobs channel. I truly appreciate you joining in, hanging out with us, having a good old time. Make sure to do it by hitting like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you know when more episodes of this show and other great shows come as well. If you're listening to this at a later time, make sure to rate and review us and maybe give us a follow. We truly appreciate you when you do that. It helps us out. But guys, until next time, remember to be kind, stay classy, and take care of yourselves because that's very important. And I will talk to you soon.